Your life looks exactly like what you've decided is acceptable. Grim, right? And if you're expecting to change that life with yet another set of New Year's resolutions, you can go right ahead. But allow me to suggest that you should go just one step further and get stuck into what's really keeping you where you are. As 2025 comes to a close, I find myself, like you, reflecting on the year that's passed and what I've come to learn from it. And there's been one theme in particular that has colored my experience of the last 12 months through both the highs, especially the lows. It is the notion that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. And that is to say that the environment that you're in, the relationships you have, how cleanly your room is, it's merely a reflection of your mental state. Now, this is an old idea, and I mean ancient. Plato wrote about this in his Duality of the Republic in 375 BC. And Gaudapada developed this idea from the Upanishads in the 7th century. Many cultures across time have independently authored this sentiment, and it's survived into the present, and it's expressed in today's culture. Now, it's a cute idea, and it's a neat little wisdom, but what does it actually mean? And how can it be practically understood? I'll tell you, to begin with, I went about it completely the wrong way. I figured I had some high and mighty ideas up here in my inner world, and therefore I should go about fixing up the world around me. That I should tirelessly run errands and tick off to-do lists until what was out there looked something like the vision that I had up here. But to what end, you know? I mean, I found myself feeling a little burnt out, stressed, and generally discontent with things. And none of this felt particularly zen, you know? And bless, those that were close to me gave me sage advice and tried reminding me that I was young, that I should appreciate my youth, and to not worry so much. Now, this is good advice, but we know this already, and this advice seemed adjacent to the issue. Sure, we must be grateful, but how can we balance the gratitude, grace, and appreciation for what we have now, but still want to become better versions of ourselves, to, grow as people? This tension is what the Buddhists would call tanha, like a craving for something, anything beyond what we have here in the present moment. And that this desire, this distance between what we want and what we have, this is the cause of suffering. Great. Whoop-de-doo. Where does that leave us? Where do we go from here? For a hot minute, I stalled. I felt stuck. Then, one day, I was doing a little doom scrolling, stumbled across a podcast clip from Naval Ravikant. And he said, you will end up wherever is acceptable to you. Now, at first, that stung a bit. Cheers, mate. Thank you for the reminder that my life is a representation of what I'm happy to settle for. Wicked, And then something clicked. I thought, I have wound up in a life I find acceptable. You know what? I'm grateful for it. Like most people, I want to strive for more, but ultimately I am content with where I am. And I do believe it's a dignified way to live. In that moment, I realized that this idea that your outer world reflects your inner world, it's not some indictment of the outer world and some encouragement to go out there and to change it according to your whims and desires. It's actually the opposite. Your environment, relationships, the physical spaces, they're a reflection of you. And by you, I don't mean your wants or needs. No, I mean more your sense of self, your self-concept, your identity, your standards, your ethics, the degree to which you take responsibility for those around you, and the degree to which you feel you have any locus of control at all. And if you feel that this measure of yourself disagrees with your circumstances, if you feel a schism between your inner and outer worlds, ask not what you can change about the world, but who you must become first to bring about that kind of change in the world. So, for every New Year's resolution that I've written, and I suggest that for every New Year's resolution that you write, ask yourself the following question. Will I find it acceptable if I can't achieve this goal? If I, for one reason or another, cannot fulfill this goal, will it be acceptable to me? Am I happy to settle with not getting this goal done? And if you and I answer yes, then we should not be so surprised if we fail to muster the gusto to go out there and get it done. Like, we can't be too hard on ourselves for not achieving something we never really had the heart to do. And if we answer no, we will not accept the alternative to getting this goal done, well, then I've got good news for you. For this answer will remain true for as long as you are willing to keep trying, to not quit, and to never settle for less. Now, how's that for optimism? All in all, this is an invitation to add a little depth to your New Year's resolutions, to undergo a little self-inquiry, and all with the hope that you will feel better situated and with a little more clarity about how you can tackle what matters most to you next year. Turns out, the change starts here, and we should ask ourselves, what kind of growth do we need to undergo before we can expect that our experiences, our emotional intelligence, and our maturity will open the doors for us? And listen, I'm not suggesting that some kind of inner Zen is going to magically manifest your ideal life. God, if it were only that easy. We're still going to need to run errands and tick off to-do lists. But we should do those things with a better informed sense of self and without being delulu about where our priorities are, okay? And that, my friends, will be the difference between fighting an uphill battle with the outside world and finding your stride, your purpose, and your direction. Or so they say, What the hell do I know? But I know this much. In the year 2026, I'm dedicated to continuing to test this hypothesis and to bringing you along for the ride. So please, have a happy new year from me, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.